Ashe and Grand Rising once again to you all, my very beautiful people. Yes, you, my highly enriched melanin people, you, the Earth's original and organic humans. Don't forget that original and organic humans, aka my commonly known as my fellow Africans. Yes, it is I, the Mystic Philosopher, and yes, it is evident that I'm still here with you on this side of reality. And welcome back to the Mystic P is talking again on the 15 minutes with I, the Mystic Philosopher, and this is episode 71. And also for those of you who celebrate this new year, or this calendar for the new year, I just want to say, as you know, it's customary for people to do, to wish you all the best for this new cycle, assuming that your cycle begins. Some other people's cycle begins later this year. It depends on what calendar you're using and also what you believe in. But I just want to take the opportunity and wish you all safe, healthy, and above all, happy. Healthy and happiness pretty much go the same way. H and H, double H. Healthy and happy new year, new cycle, 2021. Right? Hereby wish you all the best. I hope we can, start to realize what this thing called life is all about and make the best use of what's left of our time, because as I tell you, every day, every second is a second taken away from that which you were allotted at the birth or at conception. And every day is a day taken away, not a day added. Some people are here to go, oh, you need so rejoicing to see 2021 when this new cycle begins, as if my life only just begun. No, it's beginning to end. Today is the first day of the last days, assuming we have some days left of our lives. So I hope you can full joy it, understand this, understand this, and overstand this, and don't take a moment for granted, a second for granted, because as you know, it is the seconds. In fact, you can the picosecond, microseconds, nanoseconds, milliseconds, the seconds, you name it, that makes up the second, the minute, the hour, the day, the month, the year. So every time a breath leaves, we are allotted a certain amount of breath, and every breath we take is one taken away from the amount we were allotted. But I've covered all of that in details in other presentations. I'm just reminding you, don't get caught up too much in these material things, right? But please, full joy every moment, whether it's with your family, whether it's with your friends, whatever you do. We don't know. We see what's happening right now, right? You could be here today, gone tomorrow. You know what I mean? So I just want to wish you all the best. And I hope you find happiness, because that is the greatest of all. That is our purpose as melanin people. Leave the other people to chase material things and trying to own things and control people. But try, remember, our mission here is to be happy. But let me not get too far away from today's lesson. Today's talk, right? So, of course, this is episode 71, as mentioned before, and the main topic of this series of talks, as you all know, is stress on the mind, or more correctly, the impact that this thing called stress has on the thing that we humans call mind, and that from I, the Mystic Philosopher's perspective, the solution to this problem, to this disease called stress, can or it may be found in and by understanding and overstanding the want equation. Namely, want is equal to money, which is equal to stress, which is equal to unhappiness. And also by putting into practice, it's useless to know it if you don't practice it, right? Into practice the knowledge that can be gained from this profound equation. And the quote that I'm using and I've been using for all the other previous episodes is from the Adamic race history and holy book in accordance to the 23rd Psalm, which states, and I quote verse 1, 23rd Psalm, verse 1, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And the section that I'm focusing on here is the command and the commandment, I shall not want. Right? So I asked that you, and in the previous episodes, I asked that you meditate on the want equation. Want is equal to stress, which is equal to unhappiness. Or want is equal to money, which is equal to stress, which is equal to unhappiness. And see what you can gain from it for yourself, what you can derive from it for yourself, what can benefit you. Right? Evaluate it. And then you use what makes sense and discard when it makes sense to you. Apply it. Think about it. You will be surprised. This cannot be exhausted, this equation. I'm telling you. Right? Now, in this episode 71, as in episode 70, I will continue to answer and share with you my perspective on the questions raised from episode 69. Namely, who is the beast, what is the beast, and what is the mark of the beast? Please, I encourage you to go back, listen to these things carefully, and question me on it or challenge me on it. Or, expose my ignorance in these things, if you will. What I'm saying, please, these are my perspective. I'm open to your perspectives as well. But please, listen to them first and then critique them. I'm open. I love that. That's the purpose. So I ended episode 70 by telling you and explaining to you and proving to you that Satan is the God of the earth. That it is, I explained to you that it is Satan the devil, aka Satan the evil one, that run things here. He and his hand pick, mind pick, brain pick, and race pick people and his lieutenants. I explained all of that before. I'm just doing a quick recap. And that not only is he the God, whether you want to call it capital G or common G, doesn't matter. And he run things. The God of this earth, but that he is a leader as well. He's the leader of how things run here. And him lead things here. Right? In fact, not only did I employ my own activated common sense coupled with the evidence that is right before our eyes and in our daily lives to prove to you that Satan the devil or Satan the evil one, right? And he's the one that runs things. To prove to you that Satan the devil, the evil one, and not the one called or the man called Jesus or Jesus Christ as, or anyone else for that matter, is God of the earth. That tells you that Jesus runs things here. If you believe that, you're not thinking, or you're in denial, or something. You've been deceived, and that he lords over us all. I told you that it is Satan who lords over our lives. But I also borrow to prove all that. I didn't just use my own experience and knowledge and activity common sense, but I also borrow at least 2 quotes from the Adamic Race History and Holy Book, which is also, by now you know, if you follow me, that the Adamic Race History and Holy Book is the Christian Holy Bible, the Adamic race and races of people. I used it to prove it as well, to explain to you as well. It's right before our eyes if you're willing to see it. If not, no problem. We are all in hell. Satan runs things here anyhow. We just have to figure out how to make it as comfortable as possible. And that only comes through knowledge. But that's another talk for another time. And for emphasis, and just to remind you, my listeners, here are the 2 scriptures that I quoted. Number 1, I quote, "But even if our gospel is in some sense hidden behind a veil, it is hidden only to those who are perishing. Among them, the God of this world, Satan, let me find it yourself, has blinded the minds of the unbelieving to prevent them from seeing the illuminating light of the gospel of the glory of Christ, who is the image of God." Unquote. This is from the Adamic Race History Book in accordance to 2 Corinthians 4 and verses 3 to 4. In the AMP version or the Amplified version, please check it for yourself. I don't make these things up. I'm only quoting. Number 2, second scripture I quote. He said, and I quote, "The devil led," keyword here, please listen again. "The devil led him up to a high place and showed him In an instant, all the kingdoms of the world. Just in case you don't know who the him here is, the him here is talking about Jesus. The one called Jesus or Yahushua, whichever they use, it make no difference. Right now. I will give, and he said to him, Satan saying to Jesus or Yahushua, I will give you all their authority and splendor. It has been given to me, and I can give it to anyone I want. If you worship me, it will be yours. Unquote. And that is in Luke chapter 4 and verse 5 to 7, the New International Version. I didn't make this thing up. So here again, and according to these two passages of scriptures from the Adamic Race History and Holy Book, aka the Christian Holy Bible, we can clearly see and understand that Satan is not only the God and sovereign ruler of this earth, of this world, or of this planet, but that he is the chief leader of everyone and everything upon earth, upon the earth as well, upon this planet as well, as Satan runs things. Here we see where he, Satan, led Jesus, and Jesus followed him, Satan. And the missus read it yourself. And definitely not the other way around. And it does not matter if Jesus followed Satan, or did follow Satan willingly, or reluctantly, or by force, or forcefully. Now, Satan forced him to follow him. Or otherwise, the fact is that it is clearly written here that he, Jesus, followed Satan, the devil, to a high place. I didn't make it up. Read it for yourself. Tell me how me wrong, or how me right, or whatever. Give me your perspective on it. I'm hoping. He, Satan, the God, the sovereign ruler, as I mentioned before, the leader of the earth, or the leader of the world, was the one in control, and definitely not Jesus or Yahushua. And Satan run things. Yes, Satan run things then, 2,000 years ago, or no, they said today is the beginning of the new year, 2021 years ago, Satan been running things, right? And ever since he's been running things. And for your information, as Satan, the devil, are running things right now on the planet. Yes. So when you hear people like Beyonce, the famous renowned star, telling people and singing songs and asking the rhetorical question, who run the world? And then answered, she answered by saying, girls, we run the world. Then you must know, when you listen to that, people listen to things and then they take it as entertainment. Listen to the word entertainment mean. Oh my goodness. Well, anyway. Then you must know when you hear these things, and Beyonce saying these things, and others saying these things, girls really run the world. Then you must know and understand of a fact, understanding, listen, and understand as a fact, that unless she means and unless she is saying and implying that girls are possessed by or with the spirit of Satan, the devil, then she is either being deceived, she herself is either being deceived by, of course, the leader of the planet, of course, or she either is consciously or knowingly lying to you all or lying to us all. She's either totally ignorant of what she is asking, saying, and doing, or all of the aforementioned. For the fact is, and the evidence does affirm that as Satan, the devil, aka the evil one, Satan the evil one, that run the world, that rule things here, period, like it or not. And as I have mentioned in my last talk, that if at all this passage of scriptures these passages of scriptures are correct, or is correct, then we that are capable of seeing, understanding, understanding, and overstanding this fact must sensibly and logically conclude that it means that all the governments and systems of governments of this world belong to who? Him, Satan, the evil one, the devil. Be they so-called communist government, be they so-called capitalistic government, be they so-called socialistic government, be they so-called totalitarian government, be they so-called democratic government, or autocratic government, you name it or you name them. The kings, queens, prime ministers, priests, priestesses, all religions, religious and non-religious, rich, poor, you name it or you name them, are all subjects. Yes, subjects and subjects. They are all subjects. And subjects to the system, aka the beast. We are all victims. Simply put, like it or not, it means that we are all subjects and victims of who? The guy who runs things here, or the alien beast who runs things, Satan the devil, aka the beast and the system. I could get into this and I wish somebody could prove me otherwise. Or reason with me and show me, a mistake. No, where I say, where I hear, your senses, your mental and spiritual algorithm is untuned, is out of line, is misaligned. And this is how you align it back. Show me logically, because the only one way you can prove it to me. But that's another subject for another time. Let me not run out of time here. Oh my goodness. And that is why knowing, understanding, understanding, and overstanding the want equation, what is equal to money is equal to stress, equal to unhappiness, is so important. You might remember that I told you and explained to you in some of my previous episodes and even in some of my songs that success is not happiness, that success is a journey and not a destination, and that no one is successful and that no one can be successful, that you cannot be successful. Remember that I told you and explained to you that when something is full, there is no more room for anything else, or no more space or need for anything else. Well, here I am again telling you that want is equal to success, is of Satan the devil. And to want is to be to want and to be found wanting is to be on the road or on the path of success that is a journey without destination. In other words, it has no end. In fact, when you see or hear some people flaunting, boasting and showing off about their so-called success and how successful they are, and what most of them don't even know, let alone understand, is that they are being led by the devil. Yeah, I can reason that with you too. But more on this point at another time. So yes, by now you know that the words, what the word system means, what it is defined as, and what it is both literally and ideologically. Yes, by now you know that the chief mastermind, architect, and engineer of the system is the alien beast and space entity himself, that is commonly known as Satan the devil, who is also accompanied by his host of lieutenants and devils. Now somebody asked me the question, they sent me the question. The Mystic Philosopher, why do you say alien beast? And what exactly do you mean by saying and referring to Satan the devil as an alien and as an alien beast? However, that's a question. Unquote. However, and as you can see on the 15 minutes, and I well past 15 minutes already, that time will not permit me to answer that question, especially to most of your satisfaction right here and now in this episode. So please stay tuned for episode number 72. And in the interest of time, as I well pass it and I ask your forgiveness, and in the interest of time, I think that I should just pause here for today and ask that you please join me when next I'm talking again in episode 72, where and when I will be talking and sharing with you my perspectives and insight on the magical, mystical, and metaphysical aspect of the word want, and the command and commandment, you shall not want. For I shall not want, you shall not want, we shall not want, and nor should we be found wanting. In the meantime and between time, please let me again remind you, my people, that yesterday is history, it too is dead and gone, no more to come back. Tomorrow is a mystery, it too may never come, but today is a gift, and that is why we call it the present day. And so I hereby implore you, I'm imploring you to live for today. By live, I mean claim your natural birthright. And just in case you do not know, and you may have forgotten what it is your happiness and full joy today, and let's hope for tomorrow, for it too may never come, for you nor for I, or for me, the Mystic Philosopher. I am the Mystic Philosopher. Again, thanks for listening, and thanks for your time. And I am the Mystic Philosopher. Ashe, 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 I say.